Welcome to the Professional Coaching for Life and Work Certificate Program Information Session. Thank you so much for being here with us today. The focus of this information session is to share details of our program, tell you a little bit about the commitment and the philosophy of the program that you're looking at joining, to help you decide if our 5-month long coaching program is right for you. So I'm one of the program leads, Crystal Babawal, and I'm joined here on this information session by my colleague, Heather Ogle.
Hi, guys.
Rounding out our program team is our Associate Director, Joanna Siebert. In addition to the program, I'd like to introduce our program directors, Carol Bennett and Michelle Payne. Carol and Michelle have a wide range of coaching experience and are ICF credentialed coaches. Carol is a PCC coach and Michelle is an MCC coach. We'll learn more about those acronyms here in a few minutes. And they're also instructors in the program as well as program directors. I hope that you'll see through this webinar that there are a variety of different ways that you can use coaching, and no matter what way you plan to utilize coaching, there are certain philosophies, techniques, and applications that are relevant to all fields of coaching, and that this is the focus for our program. Lastly, I'm very excited to introduce one of our program alumni, Sonia Singh, who will be online today to share a little bit about her experience in the program with you and also help answer some questions that you might have from a student perspective. Hi, Sonia.
Hi.
Thank you so much for being here with us today.
Thank you for having me.
Great. And we'll hear a lot more from Sonia a little bit later in the information session. So we'll start with a quick agenda so that you know what we're going to cover today. During this webinar, we'll discuss the details of our coaching program. We'll provide some insight into the intention and the philosophy of the program. You'll get a better understanding of the connection between this program and the International Coach Federation, ICF. And you'll learn about the benefits provided through this program, in addition to hearing from one of our program alumni who'll be online as a guest speaker, Sonia Singh. And then we'll end with an opportunity for your questions. So if you think of something that comes to mind while we're going through this, you can either type it in the Q&A box as the webinar goes on, or you can hold your questions and we will have a dedicated time at the end for Q&A. But feel free, if something comes to mind, to type it in as we're going through the webinar as well, so we can start collecting your questions. As we go through the webinar, we'll run a few polls, and we really appreciate your feedback and participation. So we're going to test our first poll right now. My first question is, how did you find out about the Professional Coaching for Life and Work Certificate Program here at UC Davis? A lot of people find out about us through the ICF website, the International Coach Federation website. Maybe you did a general web search on coaching programs, and we came up. Maybe you're on our UC Davis extension mailing list, or a friend or a colleague recommended our program to you or mentioned it. And a lot of our alumni are really great promoters of our program. So maybe you heard about it from one of our alumni. Let's see. We're waiting for your results, and it looks like most of you a lot of you heard about it through a friend or a colleague, a lot of you through a general web search, or you're on our UC Davis extension mailing list. That's interesting. No one through the ICF website. We usually have quite a number of people who come to us through ICF, so very interesting. Thank you so much for your participation. All right. I want to let you know that one exciting perk of being live online for the webinar today is that just by attending, you'll receive a $100 off coupon for the coaching program, or you can use it for another class at UC Davis Extension as long as it's your first class in a program. So I'll tell you more about that coupon code towards the end of the information session, so make sure you stick around to the Q&A session to hear how you can take advantage of that $100 off coupon. All right, diving right into our coaching program overview, I want to start by talking about the International Coach Federation. Many of you have probably heard of ICF. If you have not, and you're looking at coaching as a career or a piece of your career, I'd highly recommend that you write it down and Google it when we're done and do some research on the International Coach Federation. The ICF is a globally recognized coach certification provider. And there's a little difference between a certification and a certificate. So we here at UC Davis Extension offer a certificate. So it's a document, like a diploma that you put on your wall and frame, and you say that you received a certificate in coaching from UC Davis. That looks really fancy and really nice. You can also research and get a certification where you get a credential and you can put, a tag behind your name. So you then become either an ACC coach, an associate credentialed coach, a PCC coach, a professional credentialed coach, or an MCC, a master certified coach. We'll talk a little bit about those different designations here in a moment, but what I did want to make sure I lead with is the fact that our program here at UC Davis is an accredited coach training program in partner with ICF. So when you're done with our program, you meet almost all of the requirements that you need to not only get your UC Davis certificate, which you get at the end of our program, but to also become ICF certified. So within our program, we commit to ICF that you will receive 150 hours of coach-specific training, and our program is academic credit, is approved for academic credit through our main campus, through our Graduate School of Management at UC Davis. So it's a academically approved program. You also will receive a mentor coach. When you join our program, you get a personal mentor coach that's paired with you that helps you along the way. So as you're doing your coaching in the program and you're doing recordings of your sessions, your mentor coach will listen to those recordings and they'll give you what they call feed forward about what you did really good, what you should continue to do for next time, and maybe what you might want to think about doing a little bit differently the next time you coach, or kind of give you some different perspectives on your coaching sessions. They really help you along the way. And then a really unique piece of our program is that we pair you with clients. Sometimes finding your first coaching client when you're new to coaching can be a little intimidating. So we take that intimidation away and we pair you with a client who will be your partner through the program. And you'll do a number of coaching sessions with that client. In fact, some of our student coaches are so motivated when they get in our program that they want more than one client. Maybe they want 2 clients or 3 clients. And so we can help pair you with clients through our program. You're paired with pro bono clients. So you're coaching, they don't pay you. They're helping you as a student coach get experience, and you're helping them by giving them free coaching services through the program. So it's really a win-win. And our clients come from all over. They're usually connected with UC Davis in some way. Maybe they're a student in one of our other courses, or they work for an organization that's connected with UC Davis in some way. So they really come from kind of all walks of life. I did mention the certifications, and so here they are again, are the Associate Certified Coach, ACC level, Professional Certified Coach, PCC level, and Master Certified Coach, MCC level. And if you're interested or looking into becoming certified as a coach through ICF after our program, this is a really great grid that goes over what the program includes, what you need to become certified through ICF, and then I can show you here what you'll still need once you're done with our program. So let's take the ACC column, because basically the ACC and PCC columns are identical minus the row that says coaching experience. To become a PCC certified coach, the only difference is that you need more coaching hours. So some people will wait until they get all of the coaching hours they need to become PCC certified, but you could join as an ACC once you get those hours, and then go through the reapproval process to apply for PCC when you have then those hours needed. So I'm going to go down, because we're an ACTP, an accredited coach training program through ICF. I'm going to go down the column if you're interested in becoming an associate certified coach, what you would need. So you'd need to attend an accredited coach training program. Oh, that's us. All right, check off the list if you when you go through our program. You will need to work with a mentor coach. So mentor coaches do have requirements. They need to be PCC certified level and a few other requirements. And so our mentor coaches meet all of the requirements to be official mentor coaches through ICF. And you will have that box checked off when you go through our program. You do need a minimum of 100 hours of coaching. to be able to apply. So 75 hours of those must be paid. So in our program, I just mentioned that you get paired with a client who you'll do pro bono coaching. So a number of your unpaid coaching hours will be taken care of through our program. You will still need some paid coaching hours, but you don't have to be paid at a certain rate. There's nothing in the ICF requirements that state how much you need to be paid to count those as paid coaching hours. So some people will start with friends of family and charge a really low rate as they're practicing, and then kind of grow their rate as they get more experienced, and then maybe have a different rate once they have their credential attached to their name. So that's really up to you, and we give you a lot more advice and guidance throughout the program. And then the last thing I wanted to mention on that is that once you start the program, so your first day of the coaching program, you can start collecting coaching hours. So if you're in an occupation, maybe you're a coach right now, maybe you're a life coach, or you work internally within an organization and you coach people currently, that day one that our coaching program starts, you can start tracking your coaching hours and count those for your ACC or PCC level certification for the program. You'll need 2 reference letters from qualified coaches. And man, when you're in our program, you will meet our coaching alumni, you'll meet our coaching directors, coaching instructors, mentors. You will have a full network of people that can provide reference letters for you. So that box will be checked as part of our program. And then you will need to take a certification exam. And that certification exam, you will be very well prepared when you're done with our program. You do a written and an oral final as part of our program that really help you prepare for that exam. So that kind of covers the holistic view of what you'd need to be ICF certified and how our program can help you get there. If you have additional questions on this, feel free to call Heather or I. We are happy to talk to you anytime. So moving right along, outside of ICF, I'd like to kind of come back to our program, our coaching program, and tell you a little bit about our program structure. We offer our program twice a year. Once in what we call our winter quarter and once in what we call our summer quarter. Our winter quarter usually starts in January or February, and that program structure is Fridays and Saturdays from 9 to 5, about every other week for 5 months. This format is really good for people who are commuting from out of the area because they can come Friday, Saturday, every other week, or people who maybe your work is supporting you to take this program and you can take Fridays off. And then our summer program is a little bit different. So in contrast, our summer program runs Tuesday, Thursday evenings from 6 to 9 and Saturdays. And I think this program is really good for people who are full-time working professionals and cannot take Fridays off. For whatever reason, you can't take Fridays off, you can come for the evening classes and then Saturdays. And it's still sort of that every other week structure for about 5 months. Our classes are an in-person format programs, so you do have to come to the Sacramento area to participate in our coaching program, but we have a convenient Midtown Sacramento location. You can see the picture on the screen. Our Sutter Square Galleria is what we call it, and there is a parking garage attached. In fact, in this program, you get parking free throughout the program. So we provide you vouchers, and that's part of your program cost. So you'll have parking available for you when you come to Sacramento for our program. This is an example of what our winter quarter schedule that we're gearing up for right now looks like. It starts the very end of January and then ends the middle of June, June 15th. It's 5 classes with 2 demo days. So the 2 demo days are practice coaching days, where you get to work with your fellow classmates and you get to work with our program directors and instructors to get feed forward on how you can improve and what you're doing really well. And you'll learn at that point, what level you're coaching at. Are you coaching at an ACC level? What could you be doing to get to a PCC level of coaching? So it's a really great interactive day of coaching. So we do that twice throughout the program. The tuition for the program is $83.25, and that is an all-inclusive fee. That fee includes all of your course materials, your personal mentor coach through the program, our client pairing process. So again, if you want one client, you are paired with one client, but we will give you more if you want them. Parking passes, so parking is free for you in Midtown Sacramento, includes the application fee, and lunches. If you come to the Friday-Saturday format, this winter quarter one that we're promoting right now and gearing up for, we provide lunch on both Friday and Saturday, and a little complimentary coffee, tea, pastries in the morning, both Friday and Saturday for you. So the program that starts January 25th, we're accepting applications now. Our application deadline is October 14th. So we'll talk a little bit more later on in the information session about the application process and how to apply, but just keep that on your mind that if you're looking to apply for that program, you'll want to get your application in before October 14th. Let's see, I also put the schedule for our summer quarter program so that you can see what it looks like. There's still the demo days. We've actually taken the demo days out of the class, so the structure looks a little bit different here, but this is our program that's in process now. So we have a number of students in our program right now, and this is the schedule that they are on. We haven't cemented all the dates for next summer, but the program usually starts mid to end of July or early August and runs through late November, early December. So you can see that this is the program that runs Tuesday, Thursday evenings from 6 to 9 p.m. and Saturdays from 9 to 5. All right, that was a lot of information. So now we'd like to hear from you. We're going to take a minute, and if you could tell me a little bit about yourself and why you're exploring this program. A lot of people come to us because they're interested in becoming a life coach. Maybe that sounds familiar to you. You might be currently coaching and just looking to get the ICF credential certification. Maybe you coach within an organization. Maybe you're an internal coach and you want to add this to your resume to help grow, promote within your company, or look for a new career opportunity. You could just be generally interested in this topic. It's a fascinating topic, and a lot of people come to us because they've heard about coaching. They want to learn more. People tell them, you should look into this career. This sounds like something that would really fit your strengths. Or again, maybe someone recommended this to you, and so you're just here to learn a little bit more about coaching and what that would mean for you. Wow, it looks like 50%. So half of you are interested in becoming a life coach. That's great. What a great career, and definitely have had a lot of successful life coaches go through our program. A few of you are looking to get credentialed. I think that a lot more of you will become interested as you move through the program in that credential, but that's wonderful. A few of you coach within an organization or just generally interested in this topic. So that's wonderful. And whatever reason, you're looking to join this program, we are happy to have you. So we're going to take a few minutes here, and we're going to hear from one of our coaching program directors, Carol Bennett. So I hope you enjoy this overview of our program classes and the philosophy of our program.
My name is Carol Bennett, and I'm a professional certified coach. I came to coaching through an avenue that many of us do when I realized that the work I was doing was no longer fulfilling the place where I found the most value, which was developing other people and being in that place with the people that I worked with and the clients that I worked with, and realizing potential and realizing possibilities and shifting worldview. I really enjoyed that part of my work that I've been fortunate to do and really wanted to develop my skill sets around that. So when I found out there was such a thing as professional coaching, I knew that was something I wanted to look into. In about the 90s, the Harvard Business Review had an article called Anyone Who's Anyone Who Has a Coach. And it was at that time when I realized, wow, this is really something I'd like to be part of. I looked around for a school to join to develop those competencies and had a very challenging time finding some place where I could learn to be a coach. I knew that I had a natural skill and I wanted to develop that and learn how I could be even better in what I was doing. And the opportunities that I saw out there were places like Georgetown University had a great one, Harvard had one, Stanford, and some of these places that were not really going to be right for me. I wasn't going to uproot my life and move to a new state to learn how to be a coach. nor was I going to be able to go back and get a new degree in organizational psychology or organizational behavior. So I looked for other options and found a great school of which I was able to join, but it was fully on the telephone. And the piece about that really brought me the first idea to begin this program was I missed the human connection. Part of that development of potential and possibilities really has to do, to me, with being in community with another person. And I believe that starting something new like this is hard and uncomfortable, and being in a community of other people and being able to see them would have been really helpful for me. And I wasn't able to find that at my time. So I was fortunate to find Michelle Payne through the University of California, Davis Extension Campus, who is a master certified coach, and lucky enough to have her as my partner in developing this program and bringing it to UC Davis. Michelle is a master certified coach and also came from a rich history of working with executives and developing her own people, and really wanted to further her work in coaching, and has been one of the early master certified coaches and has a great deal of wealth and skill around coaching. So specifically, why this program at UC Davis? It really is to help bring a professional view to coaching around the world and the community of coaches. We really wanted to provide an opportunity for people to come together in community of learning and embed these skills into the work that they do every day, be it managers who want to develop their employees, parents who want to improve their relationships, community organizers and community involved people who want to better their society, and people who want to become professional coaches as a business. We really wanted to bring to them this place to come together to learn these skills. This program is special in that it really provides this great, rich group of people to support one another as we move forward in learning how to become a professional coach. What is professional coaching? The International Coaching Federation, which is a governing association for coaching around the world, defines coaching as partnering with clients in a thought-provoking and creative process that inspires them to their maximum personal and professional potential. When we're talking about coaching, we're talking about executive coaching, we're talking about coaching for work, life coaching, business coaching. Really, any type of coaching is founded on these skills that are found in professional coaching. There are other services that people often confuse with coaching, such as consulting and therapy and mentoring, just to name a few. But it's helpful to understand what those distinctions are to really truly understand what this definition means. So for instance, in consulting, the consultant is doing the work, whereas in coaching, you can see in our definition that this is really a partnering with the client so that they can maximize their own thinking and their own process and bring forth their own solutions and answers, thereby allowing them to own what they are going to be doing as a result of the coaching. Also, therapy requires a distinction, as in therapy or any other type of psychotherapy is really about looking backwards and addressing what's keeping people from moving forward, whereas coaching is really a forward-thinking process. And this forward-thinking process is really about moving forward. And you can see that in the definition around maximizing personal and professional potential. Mentoring differs in that it is requiring an expert. So the mentor, you assume that the mentor knows something about what it is that you're speaking to. So for instance, a mentor brings examples of what worked for them, what they did when they were in a similar situation, or what you could do to become like them. Whereas in a coaching relationship, we're really talking about being a true partner, really working together in this process that inspires another person to move forward. When we begin this journey together, this cohort program that lasts over 5 months, we begin with a beginner's mind, because everybody in the room will come with a different level of understanding and a different level of experience around what coaching is as they understand it, or what experience they've had with coaching. And so we begin at the beginning with coaching essentials, where we really talk about what does professional coaching mean in this framework that we're providing around the International Coaching Federation. We learn to build trust and build community, and we learn really what are the ethics around coaching, what coaching is and what coaching is not, and what are these skills that we're going to be studying over the next 5 months. We then move into coaching skills, where we really dig into each one of the individual competencies. For instance, active listening. We'll spend a great deal of time learning, practicing, and understanding what coaching skills look like and how they feel when we practice them. Because we believe that a good coach has a coach and that we need our own strong personal foundation in order to coach other people towards their potential future best self, we spend some time with personal foundation. Everything we teach has two purposes. It helps develop us as an individual learner in the classroom, as well as a tool that we can use with our own clients in a coaching relationship in the future. And so personal foundations is a great opportunity for that. Then finally, we move into coaching conversation. This is where we see all the skills that you've learned in the previous 3 months come alive. And we look at the best practices in neuroscience. We look at different models out there that are in the coaching conversation world. We look at what does it mean to talk about coaching and how does that work in the work that we do every day. And then finally, we end with establishing yourself as a coach. This is a class that is oriented to all the different views in the room. This is a class meant to help you create your own point of view. So when you leave this program, you know what you're going to do next and you have a plan to move forward towards that personal best self as a coach. It is not a class designed to teach you how to start a new business, but it is a place where you would have a vision for a new business and be able to move forward to do that following this program. Our approach is practice, practice, practice. What we mean by that is we give you plenty of opportunity to try these skills on. Most of these coaching competencies make sense in written form, but it isn't until we get them out of our minds and into our practice in our mouths and our hands that we can really see them come alive. The other approach that we use is we've embedded the mentor coaching. Many programs out there have a mentor coaching component that needs to be added on. We've embedded this into our program because we know that coaches need coaches, as I said before. And so we will apply a mentor coaching framework for you as you move through this program. We also are special in that we provide clients to practice on. Because we believe in practice and we believe in feedback, we need someone to practice with besides just each other and this wonderful community in the room with you. And so we provide clients for you to practice on and who are willing to be in this conversation with other coaches who are learning. And then finally, as we spoke about before, this great community of coaches, this room full of people who will help you move forward in your life as you develop your coaching practice and your coaching skills.
Well, on the message that we just heard about from our Carol Bennett, one of our program directors, she mentioned a number of times that coaches have coaches. And I'm just curious, we'll run another poll real quickly. Have you ever had a coach? So have you ever had a life coach, a business coach, anyone that you worked with in a coaching capacity? Maybe not an athletic coach in this sense, but just curious if you maybe you have worked with a coach and maybe that's what kind of brought you to this line of work, or maybe you are currently working with a coach right now, or have not had a coach but would love the experience of being coached. We'd just love to hear from you. Wow, looks like half and half. So about 50% of you, yes, have had a coach and worked with them. Great. But about 50% of you say not yet. You have not been coached, but you'd love the experience. We hear from people a lot that say that it's a really nice thing kind of maybe before you become a coach or before you even go through this program potentially, if you're looking at taking this program a little ways out, that it's nice to have that perspective of what it's like to be a client. What it's like from that other side, from the other viewpoint. And if you are looking at taking our program out, maybe you're looking at the summer quarter, or maybe you're looking at winter quarter format, that Friday, Saturday, but maybe a year out. Maybe the dates that we have don't quite work for you. I want to invite you to contact Heather in my office, and we'd love to give you one of our client applications and let you have that experience to become a client for one of our coaching students within the program. So if that sounds of interest to you, let me know. And then at this time, I'm really excited to have a few minutes to hear from one of our program alumni, Sonia Singh. So Sonia went through our coaching program starting winter of 2018, which was starting about February. And she's agreed to be on with us today to tell us a little bit about the program from her perspective. Hi, Sonia.
Hi, good morning.
Thanks for joining us today and talking with us.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Great. So I would love to know what led you to coaching. Kind of maybe the people who are online with us today might have been in a similar situation as you before you started the program. What led you to coaching?
Sure. Well, part of my job, I work in healthcare. I'm management consultant, process improvement specialist, and as part of my job, I do coaching. I help leaders solve problems, and I coach them through different business kind of problems that they're going through. Anyway, I learned about this program through a couple colleagues of mine that went through, and they came back, and I noticed an immediate change in how they were able to solve or help their clients work through problems much better in just a much better way after they went through this training. And so I learned about it, and I thought, wow, this would be a great way to improve my coaching skills. I had gone through some training, but not to this level. So I really wanted to enhance my existing coaching skills and take them to the next level. And so I had looked at this program for many years, and I finally, one day last year, I said, I'm going to do it, and I signed up.
Great. Wow. That's really interesting that you heard about it through our program alumni then, people who had taken the program before. And very common to what we hear that people kind of consider our program for a while, maybe attend an information session, think about it, do some research, and then join. So that's really interesting and sounds familiar to me, to things that I hear from other people. If you wouldn't mind, I'd love to hear a little bit about your experience within the program.
So the program itself was, I have to say, one of the best investments I have ever made. I was blown away by so many things, but how organized it was, and the depth of information that we learned over the course of 5 months. And it was, what I really loved was just how it built upon the competencies over the 5 months. So from day one to the last day of the program, I mean, my skills had improved so much over the course of 5 months. So that was really the other aspect that I really enjoyed was the cohort and getting to meet 20 other people or 19 other people and going through this experience with them, learning from them, being able to share my experiences with them. That was all a real part of the program as well.
Awesome. That's great. Thank you. You know, if I was to ask you maybe like one thing or a few things that you thought was kind of the most impactful part of the program for you, what would you say?
There's one thing that really surprised me about this program I was not expecting at all, and that was I was expecting to learn how to coach other people. I was not expecting to learn like a addition and what my strengths are, which will enable me to be even a better coach and help others even more because I'm gained so much myself.
Awesome. Thank you so much for sharing that. I'm curious, I know our program can be a little different because unlike a class where you might meet different people kind of along the way, our program is built as a cohort. So you have to start and stop together. What was the cohort experience like for you?
So when we started out, the first thing I noticed was how diverse the cohort was. I mean, we had people, people from, they were in their 20s. We had people that were retired. We had, everything in between. We had, we had retired, or we had CEOs in the room. We had healthcare executives. We had project managers. We had housewives. I mean, we had everyone, from every background represented in that room, which was kind of cool. And over the course of a couple of months, I mean, it took probably about a month or two for us to really start learning about each other. And our cohort became very close. We bonded, we learned a lot from each other. And because our cohort was so diverse, I think it really enhanced the program even more. And we were able to learn so much more than if we were all the same.
Awesome. That's really great to hear. Let's see. Now that you've finished the coaching program, how do you plan to use the skills that you've gained?
So I plan to use my skills in a two-way approach. One, I'm going to take this back to my job, which I'm a transformation leader in a healthcare organization, and I plan to take this back. Part of my job, I coach emerging leaders within my company. So this will help me enhance that skill set. I'll be able to do a better job of that. Aside from that, I also have I have my own coaching practice that I started actually before I took this training. I started it, and this will now, I'll be able to get more clients. I'll be able to help more people by learning by the skills that I've learned and by being able to utilize them. So I'm going to be using them at my 9-to-5 job as well as my side hustle.
That's awesome. So with your future plans, are you planning on pursuing ICF certification?
I am. I am a member of ICF now, and my plan is to get my 100 hours. I'm working on that right now. And once I have my 100 hours, I'll be ready to apply for my ACC credential.
Awesome. Well, good luck on that. That's such an accomplishment. So definitely keep in touch with me. Let me know when you get that certification. And then,
yeah, I will. Thank you.
Since you're online with us today, I'm just curious if you have any advice for prospective students that might have been like you, maybe kind of researching coaching for a while, coming at it from different perspectives, but any advice you might give to prospective students looking to enter a coaching program or our coaching program?
For a while, then I would encourage you to take this program. This is the best. There's many programs out there, and to me, this was the best. I'm just fortunate that it was so close to my home, so it was easy to get there. But just the fact that if you're on the fence about it, go and I would recommend talking to either other people that have been through this program or just coaches in general. Maybe even take a coaching session from someone. Hire a coach yourself, experience it yourself, and see how it is, and see if this is something that you would be interested in learning more about.
Yeah, I think that's really great advice. Thank you, Sonia. And Sonia has agreed to stay online with us to answer questions from you. So again, if you have questions, thoughts that have come up either for me or for Sonia, feel free to put those in our Q&A box. We're almost to the end of our session, so we're almost to our time for our Q&A opportunity. So feel free to start putting those in the questions box. Before we get to the questions section, I have another quick poll that I'd like to know. Are you local to the Sacramento area? You may be kind of, local, within 10 miles of Sacramento, or local-ish, maybe within 30 miles. Maybe you live in California, but not really in the Sacramento area. Or maybe you're outside of California, or even outside of the United States. We often have people who come to our program from all over the world, and more from outside of California, people who maybe relocate for the 5 months or commute back and forth. It's very common. Let's see. It looks like most of you are from Northern California, but kind of maybe outside of the Sacramento radius. And a few of you from Southern California, and a few of you from, yes, the local Sacramento area. Wonderful. Thank you so much for that. Really appreciate it. So before we get to our Q&A, I want to tell you how to apply for the program. I don't want to miss that opportunity. So if you're looking at our winter quarter program, the one that starts late January, our application deadline is October 14th. So you would go online to our website, there's a button that says enroll, apply now. So click on the apply now button. You'll fill out an application, and the application is really your profile. So when you fill out your profile for the website, make sure you fill it out completely. That contributes to your application. And then there are 4 questions. And the questions really are just kind of, how did you come to find out about coaching? Why are you interested in coaching? When you go through the coaching program, kind of how are you hoping to walk through the world or take the new skills that you gain with you, back in your everyday life? And then a coaching about a time that someone had given you some feedback and that was helpful to you, and how did that change you? And what I usually say about these application questions is don't stress over them too much. But what is really important is for you to really tell your story. It doesn't matter how great your grammar and spelling is or how convincing your application is. What really matters is that you let the program directors kind of connect with you and your story. Where'd you come from? Why do you care about coaching? How do you, want to change the world when you gain these new skills with coaching? If you're telling your story and where you came from, then you're doing a perfect job on your application. Every once in a while, we get applications, why are you interested in this program? Because I want ICF certification, period. And so I would encourage you to not, write a sentence or 2. I really encourage you to take some time and really put some thoughtful responses in. We do have a suggested word count just to kind of promote that idea of really putting yourself into the application and giving it your all. So those are my recommendations. If you want to talk further about the application process, again, feel free to call Heather or myself. And then if you're looking at this, it says winter, it should say summer application. If you're looking at applying in the summer, that application, so for the Tuesday, Thursday evening program, that application will be online about February 1st. So after the winter quarter program starts, we'll get the summer quarter application online. But you can always contact us, let us know you're interested in the summer program, Tuesday, Thursday, and we can send you the application questions in advance so you can start writing your answers down, thinking about it, and you could even submit it to us more manually through a Word document that we send you if you want to get it in early. So know that that is an option. A lot of people will ask us about financing and discount options. So we don't offer financing in the same way as a traditional four-year institution, but we do have someone, Diane Carr, who works in our student services office, and she works with students who are getting funding through the GI Bill, students who are getting funding through maybe different various government or state agencies. So maybe if you are getting WIA funding or any other form of government funding for a program, you'd want to talk to Diane about how to use that for this. And then she can help students who need to get a student loan option. So we do work with a few financial institutions that we have partnerships with. So if you need to get a student loan to pay for the cost of the program, she can help you get more information on that. I said at the beginning of the session that you, for being online today, will get a $100 off coupon. So how you get that is that we will email you when this session is over with your unique discount code, and then at your time of enrollment when you're ready to pay. So you don't have to pay when you apply. You apply for the program, you're accepted into the program, and then we go over payment options with you. And at that time that you're ready to pay, you will use your $100 off coupon code and get $100 off the program. Also, if you're a UC Davis staff member, there is a discount for UC Davis staff. So feel free to contact Heather and I. We can tell you what that discount is. And if you are looking to join our program, a unique opportunity of the coaching program is that we do have a payment plan option. So we do break the payment. You can pay the whole fee up front, enroll, and not have to worry about it, or you can pay in 3 installments. When you're accepted into the program, we send you a copy of the payment plan so you can see what that looks like and when the different payments are due. But essentially, you pay about 1/3 of the program, about $3,000 at the time of enrollment. When you're accepted and ready to enroll. Then you pay about another 1/3 of the fee about the time the program starts. And then you pay about another 1/3, the last 1/3 of the fee, maybe about a month and a half, 2 months into the program. So essentially, before you're halfway done with the program, you're fully paid. And we do have to stick within those payment slots. But it's a great option. Right before we get to Q&A, I also want to tell you about a really cool feature of our program. The UC Davis coaching program has an articulation agreement with University of the Pacific for a master's degree. It's a master's in organizational learning and effectiveness. So if you have ever thought about getting a master's degree but don't have one, our coaching program can be a pathway to that. You do have to have a bachelor's degree already, but if you have a bachelor's degree and you have successfully completed our coaching program, you are essentially 1/4 of the way through with a master's degree. After our program, you need 7 classes and a capstone, and then you have your master's. And this University of the Pacific is the classes are held at their Sacramento location, and it's sort of a hybrid program where you do most of it online, and then there are a few days that you have to travel to their Sacramento campus location on the weekends. So if you're interested in getting more information on that, again, we can help you give you more details. So with that, it brings us to the end of our session. Sonia is still online with us, and Sonia and I are here to help answer any questions that you might have. We have had a few questions come in throughout the session, but if there's something on your mind, something that maybe I didn't cover or you'd like me to go over again, or maybe a question you have for Sonia about being a student in our program, this would be the time to type it in that question box, and we will make sure we answer your questions before we end our session. So Heather is going to help us by reading the questions. Heather, what questions have come in?
All right, so we've got a couple here. There's one asking about the hours of work that you should expect in between classes. So maybe both
like homework.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Great. Well, I will definitely ask Sonia to contribute to that conversation in a minute. What I do know. From my perspective on how much work there is in between classes is it kind of can vary depending on where you are in the program. The very beginning of the program really doesn't have a lot of homework, but there's a book. So you do have to read a few books as you go through the program, and then you'll have maybe some reading to do kind of in between classes. But as you gear up and you go through the coaching program, the reasons why we have those weeks off are some of the classes when you're learning these competencies and these skills, they'll say, you know, we're learning about active listening today, and then the following week we want you to go out into the community and practice active listening. So those types of assignments aren't work that you do sitting at a desk. They're work that you do in everyday interactions as you walk around the world and talk to people and practice these new skills that you're learning. And then there is a point where you're paired with your client where you'll have to create a questionnaire for clients that are going to be hiring you. You know, what do you want to know as kind of a vetting process for clients? And then you'll do some coaching off time in your own time. So Sonia, how much work do you think in between the classes you expected? How many hours outside of class did you spend on the coaching program?
Yeah, I spent about between 1 to 2 hours in between the sessions. And so there are 2 weeks, typically about 2 weeks in between the classes. And between reading, in the beginning it was just reading, and then towards like from the middle to the end of the training, it was coaching. So you spend time coaching people in between sessions. And so it could take anywhere between an hour to 2 hours max.
Great, thank you. Yeah, I feel like as compared to other academic credit programs that we have here, this one doesn't require too much outside of class work, but it's one of the reasons why we're often asked the question, you know, about missing classes. If you have to miss classes, is that okay? And because our program is so experiential and you do so much practice and learning inside of the classroom, not a lot outside of the classroom, other than your kind of coaching and using the skills that you then learned in class and practicing them outside of class. It really can be a barrier to learning if you have to miss too much. So I guess on that topic, I'd like to say that we do have a requirement that you can miss no more than 10% of the program while you're in the classes. And part of that is because of the experiential nature of our program, and part of that is our commitment to ICF. We tell ICF that you have met so many coach training hours, so we have to make sure that you actually have reached those coaching hours. So if you know that you're going to be gone for a week if you already know that you're going to be gone for a whole week out of one of the dates of our program, I would suggest that you maybe wait and look at the next offering of our program, because about 1 week is about 10%, and that's about the max that you can miss and still pass the program. So then if you get sick, or your car breaks down, or then you're in the red zone of missing too many hours. Sonia, how would you say that attendance in the class is vitally important, or did you feel like the coursework was easily kind of made up outside of class? What's your perspective on that?
I think missing an hour here and there is might be okay, but honestly, missing like a whole day or any more than that would really negatively impact your learning, because of course you can pick up the readings on your own time, you can read the binder, the books on your own time, but the discussion piece and the practice that you're going to be getting in class is what you'll miss. And I know that we had 2 people that missed a day, and then we had someone that had an emergency and she had to miss a day. And from those people, I can tell you that they missed out a lot on the practice piece of it. So if you know you're going to be out during that time, I would really advise you to look at another program or another date. But if it's an emergency, emergencies come up.
Yeah.
But if you miss any more than a day, it's going to really negatively impact your learning.
Yeah, I think that's perfect. That's a perfect thing to say, because we build in that 10% knowing that, emergencies come up, things happen. So we expect that people, might miss, a class here, but if you already know that you're going to miss, maybe 1 or 2 classes, that would be something that you maybe want to call us and let us know what's going on in your life, and then we can help talk to you individually. All right.
So sort of in the same vein, we had a question about are any of the courses online,
Mm-hmm.
and commuting to the program, do people commute successfully?
Great. Yeah. So the program is all in person. As you heard from Carol, that was really one of the distinguishing factors between other programs and ours. That is really one of the benefits of our program, that it's all 100% in person. So while we do have a learning management system that you get materials on, sort of your binder materials are also available electronically, and instructor communication, all of the learning is done in the classroom. So you do have to be here in the Sacramento area for the program. But we more and more have a lot of people coming from out of town to our program. We have people who commute, quite a number of people who commute from the Bay Area. Again, quite a number of people who come from Southern California, even outside of California, and internationally for our program. They either commute for the program and in a few cases relocate for the program. Sonia, were there people in your program who weren't from the local Sacramento area?
Yeah, actually, I would say probably half of them were from the local area, and the other half were outside of the local area. A lot of them came from the Bay Area. We also had someone who was commuting from LA, so he was driving up from Los Angeles every other week. And then we had another student who was flying down from Washington, D.C. every other week. And 1 month she chose to stay, so I know she chose to stay for 1 month. But the other time she was flying back and forth, and that person ended up loving this area so much that she ended up getting a coaching job on the last day of class. She was offered a coaching job, and she relocated from Washington D.C. to Northern California.
Wow, that's amazing! What a success story! That's awesome. So commuting and people coming to our program from outside of the local area is really common now. And I think it's because there are some pieces of our program that are just very different from what's out there. In addition to our name, there are lots of places you can get a coaching certificate from, but having a UC Davis certificate means a lot. So
we actually had a question a little bit about that. You'd mentioned that the program is academically vetted by our master's department, and the difference between Extension and UC Davis, is there any difference between us?
I'm sorry, I was trying, what's the question?
Is there a difference between the UC Davis and UC Davis Extension?
Oh, no, the answer is we are part of the same community, UC Davis. So we're actually, you are in for early information. Don't tell anyone, even though this is a recorded live webinar. Don't tell anyone that I'm telling you this. But we will be changing our name in October from UC Davis Extension, which we've been for like 60 years, to UC Davis Division of Continuing and Professional Education. So what we are is we are a division of UC Davis, like the Department of Engineering or any other division or department within UC Davis, the UC Davis community. We are the same, and we are just the division for continuing and professional education. So we serve, instead of undergraduate students or graduate students, we usually serve adult professionals from either the greater Sacramento area to the United States, to the world.
I have a question here about how competitive is the admission process? Do we get a lot of applications between the two quarters?
That's a really good question, and I would say the answer to that is it does vary. Every year, it kind of depends on how many applications we get. Winter quarter tends to be more popular in the format than summer, so we do get more applications during the winter quarter program. But I really don't think people should worry so much about, oh, will I get accepted? I really think that just being honest and kind of telling your story through that application is the best strategy. I guess another piece of information that I don't know that I shared, so that'd be good to share here, is that our program, generally speaking, is about 20 to 25 students. So we intentionally keep our program small so that the cohorts can have a really close knit feel and a really great opportunity to do learning and working together and learning from the instructors. Yeah.
In the same vein, I had a question. What do I have to do to qualify for the program?
Yeah, and we don't have any specific requirements. I think our website says you have to have 4 years of professional work experience and sort of a mindset of wanting to be a coach and receive feedback and all of that. And the reason why we don't have specific requirements, we don't require a bachelor's degree, or we don't require any previous experience or work history, specific work history, is because people come to our coaching program from all walks of life. I mean, people really come. We've had people come, not very many, but people come straight out of high school for our program. We've had people who've had full careers in every industry you could think of that have come to us sort of as a second career in retirement that they want to do. We have people who work internally as coaches within organizations like Sonia, or people who work externally like life coaches who open their own coaching businesses, and they go into all different niches, relationship coaches and health coaches and divorce coaches, everything you can possibly imagine. Sonia, when you think about your cohort, is there like one occupation that kind of stood out, or did you find that your cohort really was a diverse kind of mix of people?
It was pretty diverse. I would have to say there were more people in like leadership positions, but not. I would say half of them. Half of them were in leadership positions. The other half were not in leadership positions, and they varied. I mean, we had farmers. We even had farmers in our. I mean, yeah. so different. Yeah.
Wonderful. Yeah. And I think every cohort's unique in that way. Every cohort has sort of a different mix of people. And it's one of the things that makes our program so rich, is that people are coming from all different walks of life and all different experiences. And that really contributes to a really great experience for students.
Great. I had another one. We're getting through them. Can I take classes individually over the period of a year?
Yeah, so you do have to be able to join, in addition to having to be able to be in our Sacramento area location or come to the Sacramento area for the classes, you have to take the whole program together. So our program, it's made up of 5 classes, but it starts and stops together. So you go through as a cohort. So you cannot just take 4 of the 5 classes and then take 1 later. You have to take all 5 together in the program.
Does this program teach me how to open my own coaching business?
That's a really actually commonly asked question. What I would say to that is that our program specifically does not teach you how to open your own coaching business. And one of the reasons for that is because people really do come from all different backgrounds and walks of life. Not everyone who's coming into our coaching program wants to open a coaching business. You do have time to sort of self-reflect and create an action plan for yourself in our last course, Establishing Yourself as a Coach, or Coaching Mastery, but we don't specifically tell you step by step what you need to do to open your own coaching business. That being said, that is something that our alumni network has been really passionate about. And if you specifically are looking at joining this program and then opening your business, and you know that's something you're going to want, our alumni network that you're then connected with are a perfect resource to ask questions to. What steps did they take? They can help you along the way. Sonia, in your cohort, I think I heard a rumor that you guys kind of started something on your own to help those of you who wanted to start your own coaching business.
Yeah, actually, I started a mastermind group from our cohort, and I surveyed our cohort to see who would be interested, and I would say about maybe 75% of our cohort was interested. And so what we've done is every other week we have a mastermind session. We have a 90-minute call. Sometimes we do them in person, sometimes usually they're over the phone, and we will pick a topic, and we spend the first portion of it talking about that topic. For example, how do you market your services? How do you get clients? How do you set your business up legally? So we have various topics that we discuss, and then we go around and we give the facilitator will give time to each person to talk about what their personal kind of issues are or what they want help with, and then the group will then give their kind of their input, and we all try to help each other with whatever each person is wanting to work on. And so the mastermind sessions, it's been going on for a couple months now, ever since our training ended, and they've been phenomenal. They've been really, really helpful.
That sounds so interesting, Sonia. I'm so glad that you guys have continued to do that. And every alumni group, every group that finishes kind of builds their own thing. But also our students really do lean on other alumni that aren't from their cohort. So I think due to timing, we'll take one last question.
All right. So it looks like I have a question about, besides general life coach skills, is it possible to specialize, for example, in career coaching? How does our program deal with that kind of thing?
Yeah. And I think that is, again, one of the pieces of our program that makes it really unique is that we don't focus on any specific niche or specialization. So we're not training life coaches, and we're not training health coaches, and we're not training executive coaches. Within this program, you're learning the competencies and getting familiar with the ICF core competencies, the 12 pieces of coaching that ICF, the globally recognized International Coach Federation, says that you need to know, to be good at, and to be able to practice to be a successful coach in any capacity within any industry. So in our program, you're learning the foundation, the building blocks to be a successful coach. You'll be able to walk away practicing more naturally these competencies that you'll become very familiar with within the program. And once you have that foundation and those building blocks, you can really go into any niche of coaching that you want or that interests you. So I again think that's one of the things that makes our program really unique. All right, and with that, we are right on time to end our session. Thank you so much for being with us today. I definitely want to start by thanking Sonia. Sonia, thank you for being online with us and sharing your experience and taking questions.
My pleasure. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, I can't wait to hear how the ICF certification process goes for you and to hear more about your mastermind sessions. I think that's fantastic. Mm-hmm. And for all of you that are on the session today, thank you for being with us for this hour. We're really excited that you wanted to hear more about our program. We'd love to talk to you over the phone. If you still have lingering questions, you can contact Heather or I anytime. And we look forward to seeing your application and seeing you in our program. With that, have a wonderful day.
Bye, guys.